We live? We're live.
Hi guys, we're here with you and we're glad that you're here with us. And we hope you had a Merry Christmas. This is Advanced Weekly Update Live.
Advanced Weekly Update Live.
And we are cold today.
Yes.
It's quite chilly. So we got our, look at the scarf here.
The scarf on.
The sweater on, and it's still a little chilly. I like it, David, because it feels appropriate for this time of year.
It does, although I would prefer it to be snowing and not drizzling like it has been for the last 3 days.
Yeah, I guess. That would be nice. I agree. That would be nice as well. Well, we hope you had a good Christmas weekend. Maybe it was busy, maybe it wasn't. I had a good time with family and friends. How about you, David?
I also had a wonderful time with family and with friends. Christmas Eve, we spent time together. There were presents. We had friends over. Had a little whiskey and red wine. All the holiday favorites.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to say that on air?
I don't know. You already said it. Eggnog was in there. That's good as well. So lots of things. And then we have New Year's coming up, and so this week is a good time, I think, to reflect, and we have an article about that at the end of the week, Rethinking Our Thoughts.
That's right, Rethinking Our Thoughts. I really like this article because it's something that I know I deal with a lot. I have a brain that just doesn't shut off, so I'm constantly in a...
Is there a switch back there?
I've tried to find it for years. I don't know where it is. But I'm constantly going through and thinking and then rethinking something, and then, sometimes it's a problem and it's overthinking. Sometimes it's good and it's reflection. But being able to tell the difference between positive introspective reflection or just thinking thoughtfully about things in your life, being able to tell the difference between that and then just going into a very negative kind of spiral of overthinking.
Yeah, it's really hard to know the difference. I am an analyzer. I like to analyze things. So you think through stuff a lot. That can be a good tool, but if you use it in the right way, I oftentimes analyze things, but it's not helpful, and that gets into the negative thought loop that our article talks about, which just means you kind of just get into this negative thinking pattern, and you can't press stop, right?
You can't press stop.
And so, what are some things that we can do to help with that negative thought loop, David?
One thing that helps me a lot is me personally. I have some scriptures from the Bible that I memorized years ago, that my brain, that when I start going into a negative cycle, sometimes I can sort of catch myself and then start thinking about those Bible verses.
Yeah.
Right? That verses about how God is my refuge and my strength. Basically just meaning God is a place that I can hide, where I can be safe. Verses about how God loves me and He sent Jesus for me, which is about what Christmas is all about. For me, at those moments, like sometimes when I think of those Bible verses, it can help break me out of that loop.
Yeah.
Or even a song, also music, thinking of certain songs, hymns that I remember from when I was very young. These are things that can help me break out of those loops. Sometimes I'm able to wake up and kind of break out. Sometimes I'm stuck there for a little while, but when I do come out, that's usually what brings me out.
Right, so we need something to help us get outside of our own minds, right?
Yeah.
And you talked about scripture. There's other things maybe you can read. I was just reading something during our lunch break, and it gives you something else to think about.
Yeah.
Maybe you've been watching the news, or you've heard some negative things, and you feel like I need something positive, right, to get outside of that mindset. So I think reading is one way, and also being around other people can help, or sometimes it cannot help. It depends on what you're talking about. And so that's another way. So I think the idea is to get outside of your own thinking pattern, out of your own mind.
Yeah, I think for me, when it comes to like other people, being around your friends or being around other people can really help. Sometimes I have to get out of my own mind first, and then I can be with people and they can help.
Sometimes just leaving the house.
Yeah,
right?
go for
You're
a walk.
inside, it's a rainy day, it's really cloudy today. maybe you're at work, but maybe suppose this is a weekend and you just feel kind of down, blues. I think just getting out of the house and even just going to a local mall around other people. I love going to the local malls during the Christmas season, hearing the Christmas music. Little things like that can help a lot as well. And so there's a lot there. But also, this time of year is the end of the year, David, so it's good to reflect on the year and think about the good things that have happened, but also maybe some areas that you want to change.
Sure. Oh, man. All right, you go first.
Oh, man, you give me the hard stuff. So I look back on this year, and I'm thankful for good health. You know, the past 2 years we've been in this COVID pandemic, and a lot of us, most of us, I think, are very blessed, right? Here in Taiwan. So I think that, I'm really grateful for good health, and I think God has protected us, and that's amazing. Some areas of change, though, well, I'm thinking, especially it's been so busy during the Christmas season, I want to take time to reflect and do some soul care. I think that is something I want to do at the beginning of this next year, and that will help me find even further areas of change. And one quick thing, David, I think is, I always have this, I think I want to read more, because I think that really helps you to have new thoughts about things, new ideas, and get past your own kind of, negative thinking.
Yeah, for sure. That helps me quite a bit too. I think for me, this past year has been really amazing. It's been also probably one of the most challenging years of my life. As some of you guys know, I'm getting married soon, right? So there's all this stuff that's coming up, all these new challenges. So like the great thing about this year has been getting to know my fiance, dealing with different challenges and facing those things together. But it's also moved so fast, there's been a lot. So I think in the coming year, there's a lot of things that I would like to be able to maybe do better or focus on. I think one thing, though, is just I'd like to take more time to journal. I think I haven't really taken that much. I've been so focused on trying to move ahead and trying to, be better at this, do this thing better, this kind of thing, blah, 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 blah. I haven't taken that much time to just sit down and reflect, journal, collect my thoughts, and then be able to move forward.
And that's a great way to reflect, is to journal. And I mentioned that term soul care. That's a great way to kind of take care of your soul, so to speak, because you're writing things out and you can stop and think about it. Man, we live in such a fast-paced culture, right? And so if we don't take this time to reflect, then we can just move on, and it's in there somewhere, but we can't put it in a category. We don't know the words to assign to it, and so it's really hard to kind of get through some difficult things.
Well, so what are some of the ways? I think you just mentioned it, but what are some of the ways that you do soul care?
Well, I think it's taking time to reflect. And that is huge. That sounds simple, but actually being intentional, I think that's my word for this next year. Sometimes I like to have a word for the year. I think this next year it's going to be intentionality, right? Whether it's in your relationships, whether it's with all the time that you're spending, you need to be intentional, because there's so many things that you can do, right? And what I find, David, a lot of times I'm doing, but I forget how to just be, right? Just be present with people. And I think quality time is much more important than quantity with regards to how we're relationships and that sort of thing. So I don't know if that answers your question.
That's a great answer.
I think like journaling is a good way to do that, to set aside time. Those are a couple of things.
That's really good. I think the ways that I think about that are the same, really. If I had to choose a word for the next year, I don't know, there's so many different things. But I've been thinking a lot about humility, I think. Because humility is something that, you learn that in lots of different ways. And as I'm getting ready to get married, right, and face all of those different challenges, I need to be able to face those challenges with a heart that's ready to learn new things, that's ready to face new situations and ready to do so and learn, not just want to say, here's what I want to do, here's my idea, but something that will help me, you know, like having that, having a heart that's ready to learn what another person needs, and then to give that instead of just wanting to first move and say like, oh, I want to do these things this way because this is the way I've always done it. Like, no, you know, how do we move forward together instead of just how do I do my thing?
Awesome, that's incredible. I think we have a comment or a question
there's a comment
from someone. Let's grab that right here and see what that is. I think it's for you, David.
What is it? A comment is congrats. Oh, thank you very much, Gourmet.
Woohoo! Congratulations! And thank you for watching.
Thank you so much for watching Advanced Weekly Update Live.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for sharing about your life, David, and some tips. And we have a question for you.
We sure
here in this end of the year mood of reflection. And so I think we have it there on the screen now. You can see it verbatim. But we're just asking you to reflect on this year and think about one area, at least one area, one thing that you're grateful for, and also one area or one thing that you want to change in the coming year.
That's right. Yeah, one thing that you're grateful for and one thing that you want to change.
But you have to set aside time to think about that. That might be the hardest part. Right? So I encourage you to do that this week before the new year, and then you can celebrate that.
Yeah, and feel free to leave your thankful thing and your thing that you want to work on in the comments below.
That's right, leave it in the comments, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page if you haven't done so already, our advanced YouTube page. Subscribe to it and share it with your friends, and check out our radio programs, our introductions, all of that is there for you.
Yeah, there's a lot of other content on the advanced channel that you guys can check out, some stuff we've done in the past about idioms or even some skits and stuff. Check it out, it's a lot of good stuff, and all of our teachers have worked very hard to produce it.
All right, well, you guys have a great last week of 2021, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
See you guys.
See you later.
Congratulations.